bestowed with such ebullient and diverse work experience and with a variety of accolades and accomplishments to his credit, I firmly believe students at Domes IIT Roorkee are going to benefit immensely through the medium of this huge online event. So without further ado, I request Sir to proceed over.
Hey, hi Nitin, thank you so much. And hi everybody, very good morning to all of you. First and foremost, I really wish I could have started at such a pedestal where you guys are in today. I mean, when Nitin was presenting about the cohort of this batch with all that you have achieved already, I think that's absolutely amazing. So, honestly, it's great for me to be here with all of you, having been able to interact with all of you, and I'm sure while I will step away after this discussion, I will be taking a lot with me personally. So I'm very sure of that. So, just a few quick checks. I mean, Nitin, do you want me to start presenting or do I do that?
Yes, sir, you can present, sir.
Okay, I am more familiar with Teams. I have not much worked on WebEx, so I'm just going to share. Right, that is the platform which I should use. Share content. Yes. Has something come up on your side?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. First and foremost, please call me Abhishek. I think that's the first ground rule we should have. Don't call me sir or any of those things. Uh, am I catching a little bit of a background noise, by the way?
No, sir, you're absolutely fine, sir.
Okay, perfect. So, team, first and foremost, I must thank you all for getting me here today. When I looked at the list of speakers who are coming between today, tomorrow, and day after, I think they are absolutely fabulous. I think I personally have kind of grown professionally looking up to some of them. For example, Chris, we know personally from my stint in Infosys. I mean, fantastic leader, absolutely mind blowing leader. So I'm sure in the course of the next 2 to 3 days with all of them, and I see somebody from data science also there, you will learn so much. You will learn so much. So um, I personally feel very humbled when I am here with you all, along with all the other guests that I see coming in the coming 1 or 2 days. So let me move on. What I will do is I'll first start by, I think it's an opportune moment to first start in terms of congratulating you all. Because I'm sure when you see the mirror, you see the heroes there, supermen and superwomen in the making, or maybe some of you are already there. So, congratulations for the immense pedestal that you already have in the form of IIT Roorkee. I think it's a amazing institution to be in. I have a few friends who are your seniors from this college who are working in various roles. I know some of them from Infosys days. So that way, I think it's an amazing beginning to anyone's journey that somebody can even think of. So what I will do, I will make it rather interactive. To be very honest with you, I don't like my voice too much. And I know I don't sound like Amitabh Bachchan, so let me make this floor more, kind of dialogue rather than me giving you a lot of mumbo jumbo about theories, practice. So I'll not even trade there because I know for sure that all of you, in your own ways of learning, would have read about so many things already about you. So what I will do here is that in the course of next maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes or so, I think that's the time given to me. I will try to talk about the broad contours about leadership and you, and what it would mean for each one of you personally. I really request all of you to come forth, make it interactive, and make your voice be heard to all of us in this room. One other quick point is that, as I told, I will not get into the details of what is leadership. I mean, we all know that there are various styles, blah 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 blah. Blah. I would keep it a little bit at an abstract level. Maybe I'll provoke you a little bit for your intellection to hear from you what is your concept of leadership, how you are imagining the whole thing, and how do you see yourself flourish in the journey that is ahead of you in the coming days. With that, let me keep the floor open to hear from some of you in terms of what is your idea of leadership. Anybody, please go ahead. Who wants to go first?
Sir, if I may, um,
You broke the first ground. Call me Abhishek.
sorry, sorry, Abhishek.
No problem. Go
If I
ahead.
may, I think the idea of a leadership, I think the basic idea of leadership is someone who takes charge and takes the whole group into account and forms a single step towards the end goal. I think that's for my side. Actually, I don't.
Okay, okay, very nice. So you're talking about somebody who makes the team cohesive and takes
Yeah.
them towards a uniform goal. Very nice. Absolutely. Thanks, Sthita. If I got your name right, Sthita.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, Abhishek, you did.
okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Anybody else who would like to go ahead?
Hi, Abhishek. Am I audible?
Yep, perfectly.
Great. So I would like to say leadership is about motivating and guiding a team and towards a predefined end goal.
Absolutely, Pratik. So you are touching another very essential element of leadership, which is about motivating the team. It is easier said than done. Of course, you appreciate that. And I think as a leader, as a manager, as a colleague, I think it's a matter of huge import in terms of how you really make everybody motivated towards a single goal that you have. Very good point. Thank you.
Hello, Abhishek.
Who else?
So I'll say that about leadership, that leadership is about trying to identify the talent in someone who himself doesn't know about it, like and trying to extract it and make them learn. Like you need to understand what the person is and try to make him happen.
Very good point. So let me reflect on that a little bit. If some of you, I'm sure all of you would have heard about the organization called Gallup. Gallup has an instrument called StrengthsFinder. StrengthsFinder actually talks about the basic strengths which all of us bring onto the table as individuals and not as leaders. It could be at any level in the organization wherever you start. And one of the important dimensions of that is the strength of being a developer. So am I in my own ways able to get that small differentiation which will add value, which will create a bit of a Kaizen improvement, if I can put it that way, by bringing in some element from somebody else which was untapped so far. So, I mean, absolutely fantastic point, Navin, that as a leader, it is very essential that how you develop the best in others. Good point. Anybody else? Any other points that comes to your mind?
Yes, Abhishek, I believe that a leader is one who not only who is actually first of all a selfless person who not only thinks of his benefit first, but he thinks of a collective benefit of whatever people that he's dealing with.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Saif, if I got your name right. So this prompts me again to a small story. Maybe all of you already know this. Maybe some of you know this, some of you don't. But still, I think it's a important story to share. So there was a team which was working together. They were on a very tight deadline, delivering something very, very critical. And this team was, I mean, slogging it like anything, day in and day out for almost over 6 to 8 months. One of these days, what happens is one of the members in this team comes and tells the team lead that, on this Thursday or even from Friday, I will be taking a leave in the second half because that day I have planned to take my family out somewhere, which I really need to commit to. So I would request you for a half day leave. The manager says that's fine. Yeah, please go ahead. No problem. Take a leave and plan your day. So the person turns in on that Thursday, gets into his regular core day job of working on that project. It goes from 3 to 4 to 5, and in the scheme of things, he actually forgets that there was something that he had committed to his family. So what happens is by the time he ends his day, it's already 7:30, and he is extremely regretful that, oh, I completely forgot the whole stuff. And then since many of you may not be married, so for people like us who are married, we are really scared of our wives. So he was thinking in his mind that today I have a bad day at home. So he goes back and then he finds that everything is quite okay. His wife is in a good mood. His child is quite playful, so no worries. He starts mumbling a word of apology to say that, I was sorry, I forgot it, blah, blah, blah. So his wife turns back and says, hey, no problem. I know you were caught up. So you told your manager, and your manager came and he took us to where you had promised to take us. And so our work is done. So, no sweat, no problem. We are all good. And this person is then filled with such tremendous gratitude towards this manager that he had actually no words to kind of express even, because this person had come behind him without disturbing the schedule, taken care of the stuff that he had to, and had just silently moved on. So this is a fantastic story that I read somewhere. Uh, any of you who knows about whom this story I'm actually talking about? Who this person is that I just talked about? Not the guy who forgot, but the person who came and took the family. Any wild guesses? Any wild guesses? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. Sir,
Any
I
wild
think we have,
guesses? Sorry, I missed you.
sir, I think we have no no idea about that.
Sir, is
Okay,
it
no.
Ratan Tata, sir?
No, it is not Ratan Tata, but yes, he is an equally selfless leader, is what I've seen. This person that I talked about is actually Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our ex president of the country, and he has fantastic stories to share from his approach of leadership. And I think this was one of the extremely nice examples of how to really take care of people around and really make the leadership stand out, not only in terms of action, but also in terms of the underlying gesture that is there, which is so warm. Okay, so any quick observations on this? And I am just following through on the topic somebody mentioned. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Hi, Abhishek. I'm Hari. Actually, one thing I wanted to make was I think Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam, he stated that in one of his initial research projects, like his director, when initially the project failed, then he backed him. While when the project succeeded later, he allowed Abdul Kalam to take the credit. So Abdul Kalam says that that is one of the greatest examples of leadership. You take the blame for the team, but you allow the team to bask in your glory. So fundamentally, that is the core concept of it.
Great example, Hari. Great example. By the way, you stole one of my stories, which was coming next, but that's okay. You put a good point over there that yes, that indeed is one of the strong leadership trait, that when you actually remove the fear of failure from your teams, because then there is somebody who's going to cover your shoulders to say that, hey, no worries, I am there for you. And then when it is a matter of success, then you are put on the stage and you have all the accolades from the world. And he actually did that. Uh, Absolutely Nice interjection there. Very good point that you bring in. So, with all these that we're talking about, we are all talking about the same thing, that how people come together, uh, how we can bring the best in others, how we can really make it sound that I care for you, and in so many words that you say. The basic question behind is that, let me ask you this: what really makes people tick? What do you think is that element that binds people together? Any ideas?
Yeah. Hi, Abhishek. This is Utkarsh this side.
Okay.
For me, I particularly feel it should be empathy that binds everyone together.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Empathy is a big topic by itself. I had thought of covering emotional intelligence in some parts of this discussion today, but then I felt that that is too big a topic to really club into leadership. So I thought that it's better, kept for some other day. But good point that you are mentioning. Empathy is at the heart indeed. Point taken. Anything else that comes to your mind?
Abhishek, also a feeling of belongingness, a feeling of unity within the team that makes somebody comfortable and to put out his best in that for that team.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you make people feel comfortable is another topic. Yes, absolutely.
A
Uh,
common goal to work
having
towards. Hello? Abhishek. So a common goal to work towards,
yes,
if all the team
absolutely,
members are common in that, we can.
absolutely. I will just rephrase my question so that you can think a bit clearly. That in a relationship, when people are coming together, what really makes them tick is not so much about whether you are giving a direction, setting a pace, or any of that. But if you and I have to work together, uh, what is it that will really make us stick to each other?
Compatibility.
I,
Compatibility. Yes.
I think
Absolutely.
yeah,
Go ahead.
the trust factor binds together.
Now we have the so-called elephant in the room.
Sir,
Is
I
that
would like
true?
to say success at different stages of the project makes people tick.
Sorry, I kind of lost you there.
Success at different stages of the project makes people tick. It motivates you to go further.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, those milestones, those sense of accomplishments, really makes you go the next mile. But I would go back to the point that probably was it you, Rajendra, who made? Sorry if I am
The trust factor, sir.
trust about it. Yes, yes, yes. So you know what? At the heart of leadership is trust. I mean, take any relationship for that matter, starting from home to your school days, to your college days, with your friends, with your teachers. I mean, the people who had been the closest to you are the people whom you had been able to put forth unquestionable trust. And it really doesn't change even when you go towards the organizational journey. You might have a lot of acquaintance, you might have a lot of colleagues and all of them, but when you would be looking up to somebody, you would be looking up to somebody with whom you have a trusted relationship. And as a leader, I really want you all to take this very, very seriously from the very start of the journey itself. That how can you create an authentic self of yours which will make others trust you? Don't try to camouflage it. Don't try to be somebody else. Uh, don't try to look for any shortcuts, is what I will tell you, probably from my experience. But be your authentic self so that people see that yes, I can trust this as my good guy. And it doesn't take a leader to be able to do that. Uh, when we talk about leadership, and so on and so forth, typically what comes to our mind is, okay, somebody maybe after 4 or 5 years in the journey, or maybe 10 years in the journey, depending upon a certain organizational hierarchy, and so to say. But none of that really matters. In today's day, when we have a flat organization almost everywhere, when we have kind of collaboration as the basic mantra for success, the junior most person in the team can actually be a situational leader, because he or she might be doing the task better than anybody else in that team. The concept nowadays is of situational leader, and for a situational leader to be recognized as a leader, the person needs to bring in enormous amount of trust in his or her surrounding. I mean, I really wanted to pause here for a few seconds to make this point really stand out. Does it resonate with you? Does it resonate with you?
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay. So, how do you think that you'll be able to establish your brand as a trusted leader? How do you think you'll be able to establish the brand?
Sir, sorry, Abhishek again. Siddha here. I guess I think small results will help in establishing the trust on the brand. Small
Yeah.
results like small victories on the way, and that
Yeah.
will help build up the trust and brand as it keeps on happening over and over.
Good point. Good point.
Also, Abhishek, transparency is one thing that helps to build trust.
Yeah, absolutely. And transparency doesn't always mean, by the way, to be the harbinger of good news only. Transparency also means when you can really stand up and communicate the not so good stories also. If I have to give somebody a feedback, I should be able to really stand up and say that, hey, probably you could have done this thing better. Transparency is also equally important as it is important to carry the good news across the organization. Fantastic point. Yep. What else?
Sir, building on the customer value again and again by demonstrating good results.
Okay, Nitin sir, yes, you are right. Building on customer value is a good point. Absolutely. That is where you will be able to show that incremental difference that you are creating. Since I am in IIT, I had to look smart. So I had to come up with at least some equation, because I know you guys will thrive on equations, you guys will thrive on all the mathematical problems in life. So I had to look smart. So I have also come with one small equation. The equation is this: trust is equal to. Now, if you have to add one, two, three things, I heard you said success, I heard you said transparency, I heard you said, sorry, was there anything else that I missed? I heard transparency, I heard
So value
success stories. Sorry,
so value created.
the value you create. Yes, absolutely. The value you create. Anything else that can go into this equation?
Abhishek, I also think that mutual trust is very important. You trust others and they will trust you in return. So that trust, once you give the trust to them, they will also start harboring that same feelings for you as well.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, absolutely. It is not a one-way traffic. It is not a one-way traffic. Very true. Very well put. Pratik, correct.
Sir, I have come across some leaders in previous organization who were very one-dimensional in the sense they were only imposing. Maybe such leaders will find it difficult to establish trust with their subordinates, is what I feel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And by the way, in today's world, Hari, there are no subordinates. There are only team members and colleagues, and there are no superiors. There are only coaches and mentors in the organization. Okay. I really don't want to be too acerbic on some of your previous leaders that you've seen, but clearly they have not demonstrated my idea of leadership. I resonate with what you're saying completely. So now the equation that I'm going to put over here is very simple, and it is basically combining all the points that you all have mentioned. So for me, trust is equal to, and it is not really from me, I have lifted it from one of the HBR articles, which really resonated. It says trust is equal to character plus competence. Okay, I'll repeat. Trust is equal to character plus competence. Now, if we have, sorry, let me pause here. I'm really going to abstract. Okay? I know I'm going abstract, but I thought that you all will be able to resonate with it because of your intellectual abilities. So I don't wanted it to be a more theoretical discussion about leadership styles, leadership approaches, and all of that. I hope you all are with me so far. Let me know if I need to pause, do a refresh, or anything. Fine, I'm absolutely fine. Okay, so I'll take that we are good. So what we have done here so far is that uh, we have actually taken together your ideas of leadership in a model to say that trust is at the heart of it, because that is all what you all have told me. And from there, what I'm doing is I'm actually combining it to say to build that trust as a leader, depending upon, I mean, irrespective of whichever hierarchy in the organization you're in, how you can build that trust for yourself in the system. And in saying so, I'm propagating two things, that you need to be a man of character. And when I say man, I use it across any gender and form. And the second I intend to propose is that you need to be a person with a high degree of competence. Without this, getting uh, a kind of respect or people looking up to you or being considered a leader in the reckoning is something which I think is difficult to sustain over long run. Does it all kind of work with you so far? Are you with me? Okay. So then let me ask you this. So now that you all are set to go and conquer the world, tell me, really, I really want to hear from you. What are some of the 21st century skills that you think you should really pick up? Now, this is my moment to
Most
get back and hear from all of you. Yeah,
most
go ahead.
Communication.
most critical skill is conflict management, I would say, in this current world.
And why do you think conflict management is so important?
So because I think the competition is growing intense. I mean, more and more people are emerging out of colleges and everywhere, especially in the corporate sector, the competition has become too high. So conflict management, at least at a leadership level, has become a very critical thing to focus on from all aspects. What I
Yeah, you really think so? Very honestly speaking, I would probably beg to differ a little bit because I think that while we are having a lot many talents in the industry coming out from the engineering colleges, from the MBA colleges, even from the vocational courses, because today even a person with a depth in skill without a real engineering or MBA degree can really shine because there are so many opportunities in the market. So if you really ask me from my lens that I see, I think there is enough and more scope for everybody to grow together. But I respect your point of view that yes, in certain situations, of course, conflict management is an important element that comes into play for a leader to take the team ahead. Anything else that you guys would like to add?
Sir, what I think, sir, adaptability is one of in the present day environment. The environment is changing day by day. You have to unlearn to learn the things to get adapt to the environment and adjust as per the environment. So I think adaptability can be one of the skills.
That's a very good point, Rajendra. And I, again, at the cost of sounding repetitive, please stay away from that
Yeah, yeah,
salutation of servitude.
yeah, Abhishek, yeah. Got
Okay. Now, you make a very fantastic point, and in fact, it is in up there in my slides later. That adaptability is definitely one of the key aspects. I mean, for some of us who had been in the industry for some time, I mean, we had never imagined that we will be working from home day in and day out for months together. I think it is 6 months, and in fact, I have lost sense of time nowadays from when I am working from home. I think the last time I went to office was on 13th of March. So if I'm not able to adapt to these new ways of working, where I have my kid jumping over my shoulder, my wife telling me, "Please, can you help me with this household stuff?" I would have been a complete mess all this while. So adaptability is a key. Absolutely, fantastic point. Anything else that you would like to add?
Sir, I think emotional intelligence
Ah,
is,
yeah,
is a
absolutely.
because sir, I think 21st century is very competitive, and it's very important for one to not just to lead others but to themselves also. One should have a good emotional intelligence.
Okay, okay. Uh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, see, every century will have been competitive, starting from 17th, 18th, I mean, wherever you go back, because it's a point of evolution. And 21st would be nothing different, maybe, from my point of view. But what will be there is that it might need to have a few different skill sets that were not in vogue, maybe in the last few years. Yes, absolutely. Like you said, there is a strong ask for
Abhishek, I
what
would,
else?
in this distributed environment, I would like to go with communication as becoming more and more important in this scenario.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let me then probably I think you all are already preempting some of the skills, and it is good. And that is the risk I took because I was sure you all will be able to really resonate with this whole process of ideating together. And you are right. These are some of the 21st century skills that are needed. I don't know if you're able to see the entire screen because for me there is a small video pop up here, but doesn't matter. Are you able to see the entire screen?
Yes, Abhishek, it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 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 great. So this is not my proposition. This is a report which has been published by the World Economic Forum. They are saying that some of the skills which are going to be very essential for the upcoming years. One is critical thinking. I know with all of you coming out of IIT, there is no question about your skills around critical thinking. I have no doubts on that. You guys will be very sharp. You guys will be very adept in thinking on your feet and making those mind maps and connections and everything. So you already have a advantage in terms of a start, which is good news. Second, somebody already said communication. 21st century is definitely going to be, and I mean, it is not only 21st century, it's already now that is happening. It is the time of communication. Gone are the days when you can sit back at your desk and do things on your own, hardly bothering about what is happening around you. You will have to play along with the entire world. You will have to communicate, you will have to collaborate. So you will see the next skill which is coming there very, importantly being called out is collaboration. So the days of individual brilliance are getting over very soon, if not already over. I don't know if some of you have heard that. I think I read it about Microsoft, if I'm not wrong, that they are bringing in their performance process, which will not focus only on individual brilliance. It will focus on how good are you as a team. So to that extent, communication, collaboration is very important. And of course, I think one thing that has been there for time immemorial is your creativity. So how creative you are. If you are doing things the way it has been done in the last 10 years, 15 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, then maybe it is already done and dusted. It is not good enough. So you will have to innovate. Innovation is one of the key differentiators for looking at, irrespective of any industry that you do. Whether you're in IT, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're in services, wherever, you have to bring out your creativity. So I think those are some things that I just want to give you with in terms of the skills that you need to focus on. Good news is you already have a nice start with some of them. Let me pause here for a moment to see if you have anything to reflect on this 4 buckets that I just called out. Anything? Okay. If not, from the skills, let me move to the other bit, which is character quality. So the way I am tying it back, just for you to refresh your memories, we said trust is equal to competence plus character. On the competence side, we looked at these 4 skills, which I think and what the World Economic Forum thinks are very important for the coming generation. Now, on the second part of the equation, which was around character, let's see what World Economic Forum has to say, and you will see that some of the things that you're talking about here is already being listed. Adaptability, the ability to be flexible, to be nimble, to continuously respond to the current times. Very, very important. Very, very important. Resilience, persistence. I mean, I come from an organization called Capgemini where we thrive on the term resilience. For us, I mean, important, extremely important that how we demonstrate resilience in our everyday affair. To see, I mean, and I'm sure you will all individually will have amazing stories of persistence, resilience in the current times. Because today, the pandemic has taught us so much that how to really be persistent and not dropping the guard. That is very important. Something which is very important also from the World Economic Forum is initiative. It goes very hand in hand with some of the previous points. How you can be creative, how you can be collaborative, how you can communicate all of that. And all of it can happen when you are really taking the initiative to do so. That becomes the third pillar for success. And the fourth one, I think this is something which um, is extremely critical, that keep your curiosity alive. There is a very nice quote which says that, I think it goes something like this, that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be the people who doesn't know how to read and write, but the illiterate of the 21st century will be people doesn't know how to learn and unlearn and again learn. So your learnability, your curiosity is something that is really going to be important. And when I say you, I mean from all of us together in this room and even beyond. So that is one other very important pillar for all of us. I will pause here. I think I missed a comment on the chat window. Excuse me for that because I cannot see it on my screen. But if you have a comment, please go ahead and talk about it.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Currently, we are going through innovation and entrepreneurship course, and in that course, we generally hear a term regularly that creativity is not enough. So, how you are going to interpret that?
Good one, good one, very good one. So help me with that a little bit more. So how do you marry the two together? Creativity, innovation, how do you marry the two together? And then I will give you my reflection of this. And it is not only the question to Tushar, I mean, it is the question to all of us here. Anybody can add.
Yeah, that we need to gain some knowledge, and after that, for to gain that knowledge, we need to read a lot, interact a lot, travel a lot, and on hand with that, we need to be very expertise in a particular application or with a very particular technology. So if you want to add some more dimensions on that, I would be very glad or very grateful to say.
No, don't be grateful. Don't be grateful. It is just about sharing and learning together. So my perspective is you put in a very important point when you says application. Creativity is definitely not good enough because, for example, today I might sit with my set of tools and recreate or okay, let me not put it as recreate or create a wheel. Okay. But that is like rediscovering the wheel which has already been engineered long back. So creativity per se is not good enough till the time it has an applicability, as you rightly put. And that applicability is when it shifts the paradigm towards innovation. Because a thing to be called really creative is that when it has to have a usability. Without a use case, there is nothing which is great about any creative work that has been done. It has to have a use case. It has to benefit either a set of individuals or a set of processes or a set of systems, anything which will make life better. So if you really ask me, creativity is the starting maybe of the whole thing. Because if you're not creative, you will not even, you will not be able to go beyond the square sheet which is given to you. But beyond that, you have to come back to it and say that, okay, what I'm creating, is it for some good? And that is where innovation and creativity comes hand in hand. That is my reflection, what I could share on your question. Does it resonate with you, Tushar?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Sure. Any other question? Anybody that you have? And not only directed towards me. Don't put me on a spot. Put it to the team here. Go ahead. Okay. If not, this is my point where I will stop and I will share with you all about somebody. Have any of you heard about a person called Noel Tichy? I'm just being mindful of the time. I think I have 15 more minutes. I will try to go a little fast. Have any of you heard about a person called Noel Tichy? Yes, no? No, okay. So no problem. Noel Tichy was the learning head of an organization called G. What he proposed was something very interesting. He proposed something called as a teachable point of view, TPOV. What he mentioned, and I really, really like that concept, that for an organization to thrive, every single individual in that organization has to have a teachable point of view. What it means to and to me is that when we are going out in the industry, we will be considered as a leader when we have a teachable point of view. And a teachable point of view does not mean that it is only about a set of theories. It could be about a concept, it could be about a application that you have done, which you are really proud and you would want to let everybody else know. So the point I'm trying to make and uh, provoke you all is try to come up with your teachable point of view very early in your career. That what you really want to put out to the world. And of course, you can build on it further. And as a leader, I told you at the very beginning that a leader is anybody in any ranks of the organization. As a leader, help others who are working with you develop that teachable point of view. If you look at some of the organizations which are called truly the learning organizations, G, of course, was one of them. The learning organizations thrive because they're every single individual at whatever ranks in the hierarchy is a leader by itself because they have something to teach to the others. So keep your curiosity on, be a literate for the 21st century, be adaptable, persistent, be a competent individual, and in doing so, establish the trust that you have to, and you can do all that through your definition of your teaching point. Now, I will not go beyond the concept of teachable point of view. Look up in the net, it has some fantastic material. It underneath it has three different layers. Some of it you have already talked about. The emotional part of it. So to create your teachable point of view, how emotionally intelligent you are, you all have made that point. Then how much energy do you really have for the topic? Extremely important. And the third, which I will not define for you, because that is for you to take, is what is the edge that you want to create. Okay. Okay, I'll leave you with this thought. Do some research, come up with ideas that you want, and of course we can bounce it off later. Now, I will move on to the last section of this dialogue that we have. And what I've put up here is, as a leader for the 21st century, as you go up over there, then you join all of us in the industry. What would you prefer, really? Would you prefer the orchestra or the jazz? Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand the question that I'm trying to ask you? Anybody, go ahead. Take a guess.
Yes, sir. I
I
think
think orchestra is the thing of the past. It has the time where that was earlier in 19th century or 20th century. Now organizations are more like anyone can take leadership role at any time, according to the need.
Sir, I think it talks about vertical hierarchy versus flat hierarchy, sir. From what I see, like orchestra could be an example of vertical hierarchy, and this is a flat hierarchy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in this digital age, when the companies are more agile and we are creating small teams, and those teams are evolving. For some time, we are working in a team, and after that, the team dynamics completely change. So I think we are more moving towards jazz than orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
Orchestra define coordination and collaboration more of that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so happy that I really took the risk of making it so abstract because you guys are really making it come to life. The points that you are making is absolutely right. I mean, that is the whole message I was trying to come up here with.
And also, Abhishek, as part of the IT industry, I would like to say that we are moving towards agile. So agile is a part of cross-functional teams where each team member takes up its own job and tries to accomplish that. So that is more part of the jazz than an orchestra where a manager actually goes down to each and everybody and assigns them work. So that is why, again, I would say that the jazz is a much better option.
Good point, Pratik. Absolutely good point. Let me let me again share a very small story with all of you. Maybe that will resonate and help the point come out better. So this is a story about a fighter pilot from the Vietnam War. So he was a absolute war hero. He had made, I think, almost 74 trips uh, with his fighter plane, and all of those raids had been successful. But on the 75th trip, what happened was that his engine failed, and it's a real life story, by the way. His engine failed, and he had to make an emergency drop. What he did was that he had to take his parachute and jump off the aircraft. So naturally, as he jumped off the aircraft, he landed in enemy territories, and he was taken as a prisoner of war. He was there for 5 years, and I think after the end of the war, he was released and he went back to US. And then after a few many years, he was sitting in a New York cafe one day. If some of you have gone there, you will see it's an amazing place to sit in Times Square and enjoy your cup of coffee. He was doing that on one of those evenings. And as it happens, an individual person who is eating is always a little conscious. So he was seeing that somebody was continuously staring at him for quite some time. So then he stopped, he smiled at that person and walked up and said, do you recognize me? So the person who was there, he said, yes, sir, I do recognize you. Are you not the same person who had made 74 successful air trips after getting caught and then being released from the Vietnam War? He said, yes, absolutely. But how do you know that? I mean, when I know each other. He says, sir, you may not have recognized me, but I was your parachute maker. So when you used to go for all these trips, I was the person who was actually packing the parachute to you. So when the 75th trip happened and I heard that you could finally land, I was personally so proud that at least I could help you to a safe landing. This person was again, of course, almost fraught with emotions, and he had no words to express his thanks. And that's the way the story ends. But what I'm trying to tell you in this story is that if you see, it is not again individual brilliance. It's always so many people working around you, which makes a team to succeed. Maybe one person is the face, but there are so many behind. So it's very important that how not only become a leader, and I will leave you with this thought that how can you become a humanistic leader? The day has come today when we should really try to be a humanistic leader in the true meaning of the term. And when it comes to the jazz that we're talking about here, it actually says that you just have to play to the world, and the world will play along with you. So don't try to be directive. Don't try to be super analytical. Don't try to be super authoritarian and any of that. Take people along, make people give their best, and then you will see together you are creating a harmony which is absolutely fabulous. As a leader for tomorrow, I would really leave you with this thought process that how you can start playing the jazz in whatever you're doing and then see the magic really unfold. Okay, sorry, I think I again missed a point because they're on the chat. Please don't put a message on chat. I'm missing it out. Please call out and share what you have. Don't hesitate.
I can add something that in this event of Avenir, we are already playing jazz. Media sales. Media cell is already posting those things on YouTube. Design team is doing posters, and comparing committee is assisting you when you are starting your lecture. So I think we are already in jazz. So that's
amazing. Amazing. You're living my dream, guys. Thank you so much. Amazing. So I think that's the whole morale, that spread the joy, spread the smile that you really want to see in others. As leaders, I think that is the most essential thing. You will find a lot of people really missing that element while going through their journey. But it is very, very important to have fun. Have fun in whatever ways that you can, and make people also enjoy the process that they are going through along with you. And I will just leave you with the last message for today, that remember, we all go to bed hungry at night. A message from Mother Teresa. What it means is that we all are really looking for love, for compassion, for a little act of kindness. And trust me, when you will get into the corporate world, when you will have teams rallying with you, you will see that one small grimace, and I'm really making it see one small grimace on your face, one small twitch of your eyebrows can break the heart of somebody. So be aware of your position that you are going to know in the coming days. Make others really live up to it. All of you have talked about empathy, emotional intelligence, and I'm honestly so happy to hear all of it coming from all of you, the young talents for today who are going to conquer the world tomorrow. I think you all are absolutely there. So while digital will connect us, AI will make us maybe smarter, but if you can put on your compassion, I think that will help take your team together strong. So that's all that I had to share with you all today, guys. It was fantastic, and speaking to all of you. And for me, that is how I really see and live leadership.
Thank you,
Over
Abhishek
to
sir.
you all.
Thank you, Abhishek sir, for such an ebullient session filled with insights and valuable opinions on leadership skills and various factors that make or break a leader. The skills that are required to succeed in 21st century as needed by students, namely critical thinking, communication skills, collaboration skills, and creativity, were absolutely on point. And character qualities, namely adaptability, persistence, taking initiative, and having curiosity. I'm
Oh,
sure the
you took a
student
lot
of
of notes.
yes, sir.
Thank you for summarizing it so well. Yeah, Nitin,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
I'm sure the student of DOMS have been benefited immensely from this session, and the lessons we learned will stay with us for a long time to come. And also, I am delighted to tell you on this occasion of Avenir, we have taken an initiative, Breaking Darkness. So Avenir means growth, and the best way to add meaning to the event would be to help someone grow. There's no one better helping hand for growth than education. Each year, starting from this year, DOMS would be donating a sum to Ho Foundation for sponsoring the education of underprivileged girl and children in honor of the guest speaker gracing the conclave. And sir, to show our gratitude, we have something for you. Rohan, if you can put down the presentation. Yeah,
Nitin, thanks for putting
thank
it
you,
up. And I
sir.
just had
Thank you.